Hi everybody, this is Terry AB5K from Holland, Texas. Thanks for tuning in. This webcast will describe some of the changes in the January 20th release of AirCluster. Now if you haven't seen the AirCluster server setup and configuration that was released last week, you probably want to take a look at that first. In the new release, you're going to have a documents folder and the Word file will be in there. And if you scroll to the very end of the Word file, there's a section outlining all the new features for the release. So you can read those there. There's also a new webcast on the changes to the AR client application. Now for this demo, we want to take a look at a little more of how to set up the I/O connections and do the provisioning there. So I have AirCluster running on the screen. And we're going to first go into our config menu and we're going to select our setup, and we'll slide this back on the screen. And here's the server and the client configuration. We're going to go into our I/O connects, and first let's look at our client connections. Now in the last release these were shipped empty. And in this release, we're making it a little easier on you guys so you don't have to type all this stuff in. So you can see on the screen there is a ARC6 connection to W9ZRX, and that's enabled to true. And in the background you can see that connection is green, and meaning we're connected. And this is an AirCluster 6 connection, so we're connected. And we're exchanging DX announcements, weather, and WWV spots. Now, one of the things with the new release that's a little different is if you go into your config menu, you'll see this ARC server config.xml. And if you open that file, you'll basically see all the XML that describes all the configuration for the node. And you can edit it through the XML, but it's far better to do it through the UI. So we're going to dismiss that screen, and let's go take a look at the UI side. But one of the things I want to tell you is that in the distribution this file will be missing. And what will happen is as the application fires up and senses that file is missing, it'll create it for you, and it'll actually go into the file and add your call sign out of your license into a lot of the key places that's needed. So we can take care of that for you and make the setup a little bit easier. Now what you'll have to do is come in and toggle these true. So depending on what you want to connect to, so if you want to connect to Dave W9ZRX, you can come in here, toggle this guy through, but your connect as should be pulled in off your license file. So the options are you can connect to AB5K W9ZRX. This shows you how to do a telnet connection to K3LR. You probably want to do an ARC passive connection back to your own node. So you can come in and put your node call here. Change the description as you need, enable this thing, set your IP address to point back to your node, and then save that, and you should be able to connect back to your existing AirCluster 4 node. You may want a connection to reverse beacon. Make sure your connect as has been changed appropriately, or you can override it. If I want to go back in and connect as AB5K15, I can overwrite that preset, and then mark this up as true and save that configuration. And then you need to restart the app, and those new options will be started, and you'll see the connections start to happen over here. Now on the server side, there's been a lot of changes there as well, so let's take a look there. We'll go into our list, and let me drag that on the screen. We'll make that a little larger. And there you're going to see a new concept we've implemented is the capability to add more than one telnet server. So in this case, we're going to have a telnet server running at port 7373 like we had before, and one at 7374. Now one of the things that's changed a little bit is how we do the login messaging those are now done as file-based operations. So you'll see an intro login 1 and a welcome login 1 that controls the login. So if we go back into Windows Explorer and we go out here and click on our login, you'll see the messages, and I'll bring up login intro 1. So you can set this however you want. In this case, we've kind of highlighted the fact that CW skimmers are defaulted on and some filter information. The important thing here is you need to prompt that user so that he's reminded to go ahead and log into the cluster. And similarly, once the user's logged in and gets verified, now we're going to present him with this welcome screen that can be changed there. So that's it on the login screens. There's also a new concept of setting the default filters, and you can set announce, DX, and weather, and so on the port 7373, we're going to leave those all wide open, and on the port 7374, I've set the DX filter to not skimmer, and I'm also pointing that to a different messaging file, login to and welcome login to, so that I can change the messaging to tell the user that this Telnet server port is provisioned different. Now, if the user logs into 7374, he's not going to see skimmer spots, but he can go in and actually override that functionality if he goes in and sets his DX filter options. So this sets just the basic defaults if he's never logged in before, but if he's already got something set up, it's not going to change that. So let's go take a look at how these work. And we'll come back to our main screen. We're going to go under our view, Telnet connections, and let's start with 7373. I'll drag that on the screen. We'll log in as AB5K-10. And you can see we're logged in. We've got all the messaging, and we're getting cluster spots. We go over to our other Telnet server, port 7374. And we'll log in as AB5K-99. And now on this screen, we don't have the cluster skimmer spots coming in, and we can actually verify that with a show DX option. And you can see here the filter set to not skimmer. Now the user can still override that as he needs to, but basically he's come in with a no skimmer spot option. So that's about it for the January 20th release, guys. This is Terry, AB5K, signing off, and we'll see you in the pileups. 73.